handles it a while, and idly and pleasantly chinks it before addressing himself to the business of spending. That he was prepared to be vague to Waymarsh about the hour of the ship's touching, and that he both wanted extremely to see him and enjoyed extremely the duration of delay, these things, it is to be conceived, were early signs in him that his relation to his actual errand might prove none of the simplest. He was burdened, poor Strether, it had better be confessed at the outset, with the oddity of a double consciousness. There was detachment in his zeal and curiosity in his indifference. After the young woman in the glass cage had held up to him across her counter the pale pink leaflet bearing his friend's name, which she neatly pronounced, he turned away to find himself, in the hall, facing a lady who met his eyes as with an intention suddenly determined, and whose features, not freshly young, not markedly fine, but on happy terms with each other, came back to him as from a recent vision. For a moment they stood confronted. Then the moment placed her. He had noticed her the day before, noticed her at his previous inn, where, again in the hall, she had been briefly engaged with some people of his own ship's company. Nothing had actually passed between them, and he would as little have been able to say what had been the sign of her face for him on the first occasion as to name the ground of his present recognition. Recognition, at any rate, appeared to prevail on her own side as well, which would only have added to the mystery. All she now began by saying to him, nevertheless, was that, having chanced to catch his inquiry, she was moved to ask, by his leave, if it were possibly a question of Mr. Waymarsh of Milrose, Connecticut. Mr. Waymarsh, the American lawyer. "Oh, yes," he replied. "My very well-known friend. He's to meet me here, coming up from Malvern, and I supposed he'd already have arrived. But he doesn't come till later, and I'm relieved not to have kept him. Do you know him?" Strether wound up. It wasn't till after he had spoken that he became aware of how much there had been in him of response, when the tone of her own rejoinder, as well as the play of something more in her face, something more, that is, than its apparently usual restless light, seemed to notify him. "I've met him at Milrose, where I used sometimes, a good while ago, to stay. I had friends there who were friends of his, and I've been at his house. I won't answer for it that he would know me." Strether's new acquaintance pursued, "But I should be delighted to see him. Perhaps," she added, "I shall, for I'm staying over." She paused while our friend took in these things, and it was as if a good deal of talk had already passed. They even vaguely smiled at it, and Strether presently observed that Mr. Waymarsh would, no doubt, be easily to be seen. This, however, appeared to affect the lady as if she might have advanced too far. She appeared to have no reserves about anything. "Oh," she said, "he won't care." And she immediately thereupon remarked that she believed Strether knew the Munsters, the Munsters being the people he had seen her with at Liverpool. But he didn't, it happened, know the Munsters well enough to give the case much of a lift, so that they were left together as if over the mere laid table of conversation. Her qualification of the mentioned connection had rather removed than placed a dish, and there seemed nothing else to serve. Their attitude remained, none the less, that of not forsaking the board, and the effect of this in turn was to give them the appearance of having accepted each other, with an absence of preliminaries practically complete. They moved along the hall together, and Strether's companion threw off that the hotel had the advantage of a garden. He was aware by this time